Hello everybody, Starving Martian here, host of Martian Peace Theater, and today we are taking a look at Mars Attacks Heritage, the deleted scenes cards. Alright, so it was 2012. It had been quite some time since Mars Attacks had last been reprinted. The last official reprint of the classic Mars Attacks cards was back in 1994 with Mars Attacks Archives. And so Mars Attacks Heritage came out in 2012 and was basically a reprint of the original cards, which we've already looked at. In fact, my set of Mars Attacks 1962 trading cards comes from the Mars Attacks Heritage set. I prefer it to the Mars Attacks Archives because it's a little more authentic to the original. Um, but they weren't content with just republishing what had already been done. Just like Archives before them, Mars Attacks Heritage went ahead and published some cards that had been sketched back in the 60s, but not used for a variety of reasons. And they also included some newer cards based on the IDW comics that were out at the time. So today we're taking a look at deleted scenes. Now, in the archive set, there was a series of 11 cards called the Unpublished 11. And we have 10 cards here called Deleted Scenes. And these were all, like I said, sketched back in the day, but not used for one reason or another. And this is Death by Impalement. And you could tell why they might have been hesitant to publish this card back in the 60s. It is far gorier than anything seen before. Everything else impales by comparison? Huh? Huh? No? Okay, sorry about that. On the back of each card, you get a description of what's going on. You learn about the story, and you also have a small thumbnail kind of early sketch of what the card was going to look like back when it was originally done. So that's Death by Impalement. It's the only one I'm going to really show the back off for. Just wanted to let you guys see what that's about. Next up is Moscow Under Siege. If you remember the original card series, they wanted to show that it wasn't just America being invaded. There were cards in France, in England, in China, and so they were going to have Moscow as well. And I can only guess, showing Russia in a sympathetic light back in the 60s would have been a no-no. So Moscow Under Siege didn't get published until the Mars Attacks Heritage set. Card 3 is the Chaos Spreads. Martians have some kind of space dune buggy? I don't know. But whatever it is, they're having fun driving it around the city streets and running over people. And that sounds just like something they would do. Next up is Blood on City Streets. And those Martians really have to do something about bulletproofing those domes. I do like the way their brains look like spaghetti when they get spilled out of their heads. That's kind of cool. Alright, Robot Army Attacks. I do like anytime you see one of the Martian robots. I love that classic look. And I like this little guy here getting skeletalized. Next up is Battle in the Sky. I suspect cards like this simply weren't used because, lack of space. They only wanted so many cards in the series. And there's really nothing happening in this card that doesn't happen in other cards. I mean, you do have saucers being blown up, which you don't get a lot. Maybe that was why they didn't use this card, because they wanted to show the Martians as being fiercer, more omnipotent. Alright, Robots on the Run. This guy's doing a happy little jig in the background is what he's doing. He's all like, hey bro, having fun back there? Next card is On Enemy Turf. This card would have fit in at the very end of the card series where the Earthlings travel to Mars. I do love their spacesuits. I like their helmets inside of their glass domes. Like, that's going to do them any good whatsoever. Yeah, here's Flames of Vengeance. This guy needs some Rolaids or something. I have to wonder if a flamethrower would even work in the atmosphere of Mars. Well, apparently so. Mars attacks will never lie to us. And the last card in this particular set of deleted scenes is A Martian's Last Stand. So it's kind of neat that the deleted scenes set does go through the exact same paces as the original card set. We have the devastation on Earth and leading up to the attack on Mars itself. Even though the attack on Mars itself is ultimately useless because Mars is going to explode in a week anyway, but that's a discussion for another day. And so that was the Mars Attacks Heritage deleted scenes. We're not quite done with Heritage yet. There's still a set of cards based on the IDW comics that were going on at the time, and we'll be taking a look at those next. Until then, keep frosty, everybody, and keep watching the skies.